All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're doing something really cool. We're decoding a cosmic blueprint. We're going to take what looks like a super complicated astrological chart and turn it into a practical, clear story of a life. Basically, a map showing you where you've been, where you are now, and where you're headed.
So this is the big question, right? Can a simple table of data, just planets and signs, really tell the story of your life? It seems a little out there, but we're about to see how we can go from this abstract data to a really personal story of challenge, strength, and destiny.
Okay, so at first glance, this is what we're looking at. It's a table of planets, signs, and these things called nakshatras, which are kind of like super specific zodiac signs. It definitely looks like a bunch of technical code. But trust me, this isn't just data. It's a blueprint. And together we're going to crack this code piece by piece. So where do we even start? Well, we begin with the foundation, the absolute core of who you are. We're going to look at the three main pillars of your identity in this chart: your ascendant, your moon, and your sun. You can think of them as your public persona, your private emotional world, and your fundamental ego. First up is your ascendant, which for you is Libra. This is like your social mask, the first impression you give off. People see you as someone who is balanced, diplomatic, and always striving for fairness. Relationships and harmony are huge themes in your life. The only catch? That same desire for perfect balance can sometimes make you really struggle with making decisions. Now, let's go a layer deeper into your emotional world. This is guided by your moon in Aquarius. Emotionally, you're pretty independent and analytical. You're not super needy. You spend a lot of time thinking about the big picture: society, huge systems, technology. This can sometimes make you feel a little different from everyone else, maybe even a bit detached or lonely, even in a crowd. And finally, we have your core energy, your life force, your sun in Gemini. This is really the engine of your personality. It gives you this incredibly active, curious mind that's always learning. You're a natural communicator. But the flip side of having such a powerful mind? Yeah, it can easily spin out into overthinking or scattering its focus on a million different things at once. So now we've got the main character sketched out. But here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. A birth chart isn't a static photograph. It's not just a snapshot of who you are. It's a movie. It's a story that unfolds over time through these specific chapters called planetary periods or dashas. So let's check out the timeline of your life's movie. And here it is. This is basically the script of your life, all mapped out. Each one of these is a major chapter, and each one is guided by the energy of a different planet. And look at these time frames. We're talking 18 years of Rahu, 16 years of Jupiter, and now you're in this 19-year Saturn period. Each one brings a totally different vibe and a completely different theme to your story. Let's rewind. Your story really kicks off in what's called the Rahu period, which ran from your birth all the way to 2002. The theme for this whole era was basically learning through chaos. This was probably a time with a lot of confusion about who you were, maybe with a background of instability or things just happening out of the blue. Not the easiest start, but it was setting the stage for everything to come. Then, in 2002, the scene changes. You entered your Jupiter period, which lasted until 2018. Now, Jupiter is all about growth. But for you, the theme was growth through struggle. This was a time for some really deep learning, for searching for meaning, for building up your knowledge. The key thing here is that this chapter was all about laying a foundation, not about getting quick wins or immediate success. And that brings us to right now, to your current and honestly most defining chapter yet, the Saturn period. This is the crucible. This is the part of the movie where the real tests happen, where the biggest challenges are faced, and where the most powerful transformations are made. If you want to understand what Saturn is all about, you just need to remember this one idea. First, I test you, then I reward you permanently. This isn't about punishment, it's more like a cosmic boot camp. Saturn's whole deal is that if you can just push through the tests, the discipline, and the pressure, the rewards you get on the other side, they're for keeps. They are rock solid and permanent. Now, this is so important. This 19-year Saturn period isn't just one long, hard road. It has a very clear structure. It's a journey in 3 acts. Step 1, from 2018 to just recently in 2024, that was the heavy phase. That was the hardest part, full of confusion and pressure. But here's the great news. Look where you are now. You are right at the start of Step 2, the turning point. This is where things start to get better. It's gradual, but the improvement begins now. So we need to talk about something specific, because the kind of pressure Saturn creates can feel incredibly real in your mind. It can sometimes show up as very specific, very distressing thoughts. It's so important we address this directly. This feeling, this question, it's a reflection of the absolute peak mental strain that this astrological phase can create. Let's break down what's really going on. Okay, this is crucial to understand. What can feel like some kind of attack from the outside is actually a sign of profound pressure on the inside. Let's look at the two sides here. On the left, the physical reality. This kind of mind-reading tech just isn't possible. But on the right, we have the astrological reality. The intense combo of Saturn's pressure and Rahu's influence in your chart is known to create these kinds of intense psychological effects. Your own mind is creating these powerful feelings that seem totally real, especially during the peak karmic phase that you're in right now. Okay, we have waded through the tough stuff. Now let's flip the script and talk about your greatest strengths. In Vedic astrology, we call these yogas. They're special planetary combinations that are basically like your hidden superpowers. They give you unique talents and amazing potential.
First on the list is something called Gaja Kesari Yoga. And you can forget what you might have heard about it just being luck. In your chart, this is way cooler. It shows up as a strategist mind. This is where your deep analytical intelligence comes from. It gives you this incredible ability to see how complex systems work, to understand the mechanics behind everything. But out of all the strengths in your chart, there's one that stands out as your most powerful asset. It's this huge source of potential, and believe it or not, it's really only just starting to wake up. And here it is. It's called Malavya Yoga, and it's formed by an unbelievably strong Venus in your chart. The best way to think of it is as your creative powerhouse. It's the source of your charm, your artistic talents, and huge potential for financial comfort. And here's the absolute best part. Its power switch gets flipped on during Venus periods, one of which you are entering right now. Of course, let's be real, no chart is perfect. There's also a challenging combination in here called Daridra Yoga. Now, before you panic at the name, listen carefully to what this actually means. It does not mean a life of poverty. What it points to is a very specific life pattern. You'll face financial struggles and delays, but specifically in the first part of your life. It means success isn't just handed to you, it's earned, through hard work over time. It basically validates the struggle you've been through, but it in no way denies you future success.
All right, so we've looked at who you are at your core. We've gone through the movie of your life so far, and we've uncovered your secret weapons. Now, let's put it all together and look at the path ahead, because it shows a really clear journey from the struggle you've known to the success you've been building towards this whole time.
This is it. This is the simple roadmap. The intense mental struggle and peak pressure of the last few years, that's ending, right now. From here, you can see the next phase is when real improvement begins. Look at the progression. There's a major life shift on the horizon, and it all leads up to a period of strong, real, stable success at the end of the Saturn period. The climb is finally about to pay off. So what's waiting for you on the other side of this climb? The rewards are huge, and they last a long time. The Mercury period that comes next, that's going to be your peak productive phase. Amazing for your career, for money, for communication. And then, later in life, the Venus period comes around, bringing a long stretch of comfort, great relationships, and a chance to really just enjoy the life that you've worked so hard to build. And that leaves us with one final thought, a question to really sit with. Your cosmic blueprint shows us that every single delay, every struggle, all of that pressure, it's all been forging something incredibly strong and permanent inside of you. So knowing that these hard tests are actually designed to build you a powerful future, how does that change the way you decide to face your challenges today?